Dear students of class 8A and 8B, welcome to my civics class. Lesson number 2, the Union Executive gives you some ideas about the powers of the President of India. Already I discussed some few powers of the President of India, and the rest of the powers now I am going to discuss. Number 1, judicial powers. What are the judicial powers of the President of India? The President, has some judicial powers. The President can grant pardon for the punishment passed by any law, any court of law, but in the following ways. Number 1, in case of capital punishment. Number 2, if the punishment is given by a court of law, by a court martial, if the punishment is given by a court martial, if it is offense against the union law, the President can seek advice from the Supreme Court on any question of a law, but it is not compelled to follow the same system. Acceptance of the advice of the Supreme Court is his or her discretion. That means the President can grant pardon of any kind of punishment passed by any court of law. But under such circumstances, when the case is related to capital punishment, when the punishment is given by the court martial, if any offense is related to union law, in that case, the President can seek advice from the Supreme Court what to do and what not to do, but it is not mandatory. The President can seek advice or may not. It is depending on the wish and discretion of the President of India. The advice which is given by the Supreme Court for the President, it is depending on President whether he will follow the advice or not. So these are the judicial powers of the President of India. The President, while shouldering some responsibilities as the nominal head of the country, the President has to keep one thing in mind, that is the decision, whatever he is going to take, going to harm the entire system of constitutional procedure. In that case, the President has to learn all the system of the Constitution, all the articles of the Constitution. Sometimes President gets confused. In that cases, the President has to seek advice of the Supreme Court, but it is depending on him whether he will follow the advice or not. The President is required to be a learned person. Why? Because the knowledge of President not only useful for the country, but also useful for the Constitution of our country. It is useful to the Constitution of our country. The Constitution and constitutional laws through different articles which are written in the Constitution by the Constitution maker. The President has to learn it. The President has to read the constitutional system, the constitutional procedures from time to time, so that he can or she can understand the basic knowledge of the Constitution and can apply it in various ways without being consulted, without being advised by the Supreme Court. But sometimes the president is bound. Sometimes the president is required, not bound. Sometimes the president is required to consult the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court for some cases. The cases are very critical case, very complicated cases. In that case, the case is sometimes comes to his office, and before giving verdict or before reducing punishment, the president may seek the advice of the Supreme Court judge. Anyway, so these are the judicial powers of the President of India. Now next, emergency powers. Emergency powers of the President. The President can execute three kinds of emergency powers. You know, as per the Constitution of India, there are three important articles. There are three important articles which are exercised by the President of India. These articles are Article number 352, Article number 356, and Article number 360. Under Article number 352, the President declare national emergency in the country, but it is depending upon the circumstances and political condition of the country. For example, external aggression, for example, outbreak of armed rebellion, for example, declaring of war by other country. In that case, the President can declare national emergency throughout the country under Article number 352. Before declaring national emergency throughout the country, the President has to consult the Prime Minister of India, the President has to consult the Council of Ministers, and after doing it, the President generally declares the national emergency throughout the country under such political circumstances of outbreak of armed rebellion, external aggression, and declaring of war by other country. But under which article? Under Article number 352. Now, under Article number 356, the President has declared constitutional emergency in the country. But when does constitutional emergency occur? The constitutional emergency is occurred due to breakdown of the constitutional machinery in a state. Suppose one state and the head of the state, means Chief Minister, does not like to follow up the system of the constitutional procedure properly because of inadequate knowledge of constitution and constitutional procedure. In that case, the President gives chances to the head of the state, means the Chief Minister of the state, to abide by the rules and regulations of the Constitution properly and to follow up the system of the Constitution in an effective way. And if the head of the state, means Chief Minister, fails to follow the system of the Constitution, in that case, under Article number 356, the President may declare constitutional emergency in a state, and in that case, instead of that formed government, the presidential rule is declared in that state, and the state has to go for further election. Anyway, so these are the constitutional emergency under Article number 356 exercised by the President of India. Now, under Article number 360, the President exercises the power of declaring financial emergency in the country. Financial emergency, when the financial stability of the country goes very unstable, financial emergency does not become stable. In that case, the President can declare financial emergency throughout the country under Article number 360. Under Article 360 of the Constitution of India, the President declares financial emergency of the country. In order to strengthen the financial stability of the country, the president declares the financial emergency in the country under Article 360. And as soon as the financial stability of the country is established strongly, and the president may withdraw. The president withdraws the financial emergency from the country under Article number 360. So these are the financial emergency powers of the President of India, my dear students. The President requires to gain knowledge of the financial crisis of the country and its solution. In various ways, country may face financial crisis, financial problem, but in that case, the president has to be conscious from time to time so as to make sure financial stability of the country. The president may advise the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers to frame good policies for the welfare of the country, for the all-round development of the country, and for strengthening the financial ability of the country. That's why the president has to observe each and every political situation of the country, whether it is being developed, whether it is being progressed, whether there is any crisis, and in that case the president may interfere and can utilize his or her powers, like judicial powers during the crisis period. A person, an accused is given verdict illegally, the verdict which should not have been given, but it was given, but the accused is not satisfied. In that case, the matter can come to the office of the president. The president may not discuss with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court before reducing the punishment. In this case, the president can utilize his or her judicial powers, and the president can exercise his or her emergency powers like this way, by using number of articles which are supposed to be exercised by the President of India only, on Article number 352, Article number 356, and Article number 360. Under Article number 352, the President can declare, national emergency. Under Article number 356, the President can declare, financial emergency, constitutional emergency. And Article number 360, the President can declare, financial emergency throughout the country. And whenever the country gets stable, the President withdraws the emergencies, financial emergency, national emergency, and constitutional emergency. So these are the powers of the President, the judicial powers and the emergency powers. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.